It has to go 10 feet laterally.
Okay.
It has to hit the bullseye 3 times in a row.
So
Yeah.
And then its target is 6 inches round circle, laying flat on the ground. It says the launcher may only use a rubber band or a spring to propel the ball.
Mass of the ping pong ball
It's
is
so
so
light.
measurable. That's gonna be like really hard to get it down.
All the way 10 feet.
Yeah, or like at least without like a sufficient power source. When you shoot it straight, it's gonna go fly off somewhere else.
Is there any specification that says we can't alter the ping pong ball?
Nope.
Well,
So it's like you can put like foil around it. And
foil around it, or we could inject it with something heavier.
Sand.
I think if we wanted to do something like injecting sand or something, for one thing, we'd have to have a ping pong ball we can do that with, and another, we'd have to ask the teacher for permission.
Yeah, because if we get the catapult elevated high enough, it just has to go 10 feet from here to there. It doesn't say how tall or how short the catapult
It
has
just has
to
to be
be.
accurate.
The nice thing about this design is you can actually move the stopper back over here so that your arm will stop at a degree, so it even gives it upward momentum.
I also reckon that like if we don't go with the catapult idea, but like the thing about like a rifle, so it's like the longer the barrel, the more accurate it is.
Yeah.
So we can have like a real long like pipe basically working as a barrel, and have like half of it reserved for like the spring, and then have like a really big spring to pull it back to give it enough like force to just get to that 10 feet as quick.
Right.
I would never do it outside. All the wind and extra
The ping
factors.
pong ball
heck
would-
no. I'm doing it indoors where it's as controlled in the environment as possible.
Okay. So
Thank you, Leonardo da Vinci, or if not you, whoever invented the catapult.
So we can actually modify this design to add a barrel of some kind over here to increase the accuracy, and it would also minimize the probability that it would, move.
Yeah, but how are we gonna get if the catapult's gonna go from here up?
You would
Right,
like
when it goes-
basically
yeah, but
instead
when
of
it-
leaving down here, you'd put it up here where you want it to meet the barrel.
Right.
Yeah.
And better idea. Why don't we put the ping pong ball in there, and this
The catapult
can be our
smacks it.
hammer.
I have a hammer.
That seems reasonable.
We could even be clever enough and then make this, like, here's notch 1, 2, and 3, make it adjustable.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we could have a design that sustains just basically nothing but a barrel. That's all it is. And we can cut grooves on both sides of the barrel, right here. And in here, we put a pin. Our rubber band is attached to 2 pins on the outside, right there. So our ping pong ball will probably be right here if you want to. You could put the ping pong ball right here if you want to smack the ball, or if you want the rubber band to pull the ball forward, you could put it there. I personally wouldn't want it to pull the ball forward just because of the nature of rubber bands. They cling onto things. I wouldn't want the rubber band constricting around the ping pong ball. I would put it up here so it will smack the ball. We could even add something to the rubber band on the inside, like a piece of tape, so that it'll just hit and leave the ball alone. And that would be enough.
And so you're gonna have it basically kind of like how this is. So it's gonna have like a slip right here that you can pull it back and go.
Yep. As long as we remove the pin.
Okay, I like that.
No, I think a spring would be better because spring doesn't lose as much tension. It's basically a cog machine. So when you pull the trigger, it pushes the tension out.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Like people are gonna come up with like a gun, basically, just to.
This one designed and build a water filtration system capable of filtering 5 gallons of water per day.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Your system must use 3 or more media.
So it's like 3. I'm pretty sure it means like 3 ways of like filtrate it.
Yeah.
So I was like, you could do like a air conditioning filter, then like cheese grater, and
The problem is the vinegar. You have to filter out the vinegar too. You can't distill the vinegar. They have pretty much the same boil. Water and vinegar have pretty similar boiling points. The only thing I would recommend for the vinegar would be adding baking soda to one of the media, and that would convert the vinegar in the water into carbon dioxide and water, more water molecules. So that's an option.
So it'd be 5 cups of dirt and 5 cups of distilled white vinegar. If it's an option, if it's easier to do than making a catapult, ping pong ball go 10 feet, then I think that's an option too. But it has to do it. We have to test. You're required to video each of your 10 tests and upload the video to your YouTube channel. Expensive.
That's my concern on the water filtration one. If we're gonna be filtering and we have to do at least 10 tries, you have to replace the filters at least once every 3.
I think the ping pong ball is gonna be
The ping pong ball?
the best thing.
We'll plan out a prototype, and then the next time we meet, we'll build the prototype.
The catapult's the easiest to design.
I think the catapult would be better than a barrel.
What are we going to do regarding materials? I imagine we come up with what we need, and then
That's why we design a prototype, and then we understand what materials we're gonna need.
Yeah.
So we're decided on the
I think we should do the catapult.
catapult? Okay.
I think
So,
that'll be
Are
the
we still
best.
gonna put a barrel on it? To
We-
help?
We can. So that's gonna factor into the cost as well.
What I did when I built a catapult in high school for woodshop, we built a catapult, but instead of having like a flat piece, we built kind of like a cup,
Mhm.
to where when it shot up, it didn't go like straight out. It kind of rolled off the top. There's nothing that says we can't 3D print this.
You can, but do
Ooh,
you know
they
how
have a
much?
3D printing thing.
Do you know how much they
3D
charge in the library for that? They
3D
charge you-
printing is 7 cents a gram. That's nothing.
I think what he's saying is that it's about $40 for one ping pong ball, and that's not much. Is that it?
What? No.
No.
To build something, 7 cents a gram is not very expensive.
We
I
can
can go to my
Oh.
school and print off stuff for free. Like,
We can.
I'm
I like
I'm
the idea
thinking of a
the
smaller dimension.
Yeah.
your idea with the curvature in the holding.
Yeah, just spike it.
So we can 3D print that design right there. So we just need a ping pong ball and we need to take measurements of it and we need to fit that curvature exactly. Yeah, the actual frame of the catapult,
It's
we don't
gonna be
need any
nothing.
fancy
Yeah, the
material.
frame's gonna be easy to build.
Yeah, we can go to the scrapyard and probably ask if they'll lend us some money. Oh, actually, the mechanical engineering department in the downstairs area, I can go down there. I'm safety certified to go down there. I can ask them if they have any scrap material like aluminum or something that they'd be willing to lend us.
Yeah, or you can just build it out of wood too.
And I'm.
So they got if it's free.
Does anybody here know how to operate a drill?
Yeah. We can go to the civil engineering wood shop and just use the tools anytime. As long
Yeah.
as the person's there.
Yeah, we could go there when constructing the base.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Try one of those.
So okay, so that's the arm, right? So there's the base of your catapult or some shit like that.
Right.
Right. And so your
you could use
your stick
a
sits on
telescope.
this.
like,
Okay. And so you'd have a hole, right, that goes through this, right? A hole that goes through the arm to hold the arm.
Okay. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, instead of just having one hole, you just get something that has multiple holes.
and then you can just
On it.
adjust it and
So
like
you
slide
can-
out the middle part is like a pin.
Yeah. So you
I
take
like
that
that.
out and move it up, and then just stick it in.
Basic design process is you define the problem, you generate concepts. So we're like brainstorming right now. We're about to start developing a solution as we get to our next meeting, and we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do, finalize it, figure out what we need to buy, that sort of thing. Next time we meet, we're gonna construct and test a prototype. So it's basically just like get it started, figure out where it's gonna land, make some measurements and stuff.
Well, next time we get together, we're just going to design the prototype.
Yeah, we're developing the solution.
Then the next time it'll be the
Prototype.
build the prototype.
I have an idea on this arm.
Tell me.
I think. Okay, so I think we should do this, right? Different slots,
Right.
but I think it should be wider at the bottom.
Right here, when it comes, it stops right
yeah.
there. So this is our stopper. What we can do is we can actually add a spring right there, and that makes the collision completely elastic, and the ball's just gonna fly right off, and you don't lose any energy
We
to the
can't.
stick.
We can't.
How far
Oh
is
wait,
10
we can put a
Spray.
spring there because it's not using anything on the
Yeah.
ball.
excuse me, how far is 10 feet again?
10 feet is about from here to the end of that disc.
And we're using a ping pong ball. That's why it's difficult because the ping pong ball's
Put some. No way. No, never mind.
No, we don't need to do materials yet. We just need to draw it out first.
We don't worry about materials
After.
tomorrow. And